first.
Can you do anything with this mic? Or what?
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn it on. I'm muted.
There, I got you. Hold that.
Say something. Mic check.
Hello. Testing. Hello.
It's not on. Or is it on? Tested both these before. Oh, power is low on this. How did the receiver run out of power before the batteries when I used the same batteries in both?
I have no idea.
Oh, I'll bet you I know why. It's because it has to output audio.
Really?
Yeah. It's the first set of these batteries that have actually ran out. Thankfully, I have a whole pack with fresh new ones, fully charged and ready to go.
Here we go.
Alright, go ahead and talk.
Testing.
Why is it not getting any signal? It's on the same settings. Is that?
Hello.
No, it's not working right now. Let me see if one works.
Mic check. I'm getting signal. I don't know why you're not. That's really weird.
You know what?
Damn.
It's okay, I don't need to mic that.
Yeah, we'll just not worry about miking you up today.
We're gonna save time on that.
Hello. Testing.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Alright, well, we've been live for a couple of minutes, guys, with some mic issues. One of my friends is here building a rig today, and we have not been able to get his mic to work. So we're going to go ahead without it because he is short on time. First things first, we are going to be testing his... No, first things first, we're going to work on getting his old drive out and back up his parts, or his data, back up his data, so that when we put in his new parts, we can wipe the OS drive. Going from an old Intel, what is it, 6700K?
7700.
7700K to a modern AMD Ryzen system with a 5800X and a MSI Mag X570 Tomahawk Wi-Fi edition. I did not help him pick his parts. He did it all on his own. I taught him well, apparently. He picked some decent parts for sure. You also ended up with a 2x8 kit of... What speed is this? It doesn't actually say on the label. Yeah, it does. It's a 3600 megahertz 2x8 16 gig kit. Crucial. All Crucial memory is made by Micron. And we also have a Be Quiet Shadow Rock Slim cooler today that we're working with. Oh, one of my... It looks like my webcam facing us has cut out. Oh, I know what I did to it. I was working around back here for a USB hookup, and I unplugged the webcam that was going out front. Well, that's okay. I can plug it back in. Where did the actual webcam go, too? It, like, physically disappeared. Chicken and the egg USB. Is it left? Is it right? Is it up? Is it down? Is it all around? Nope, Well, we're not going to get face cam today, guys. It doesn't want to work. Technical problems abound. I apologize. This was all done very, very last minute. Alright. First things first, we're actually going to clear this out of the way. Let's get my test bed. This is my server. I'm not going to go through too much about it. Other than that, it is a 3800X and literally the cheapest X570 board on the market at the time. A Gigabyte X570 UD. It's got the same RAM as my main PC though, at 3600 megahertz. Though it doesn't want to run at that in this board. So if you want high-speed RAM, I cannot recommend it at this time. We are backing up his data before we wipe his boot drive. I need to take the boot drive of this system out and replace it with a drive I just bought for projects like this. We are working with a brand new 970 Evo Plus from Samsung. I have 2 of these already and another one going into a friend's rig. And I trust them highly. And I dropped it. Of course. I'm gonna just pretend that didn't happen. Nobody saw anything. There's probably less than 6 people watching right now. Somebody somewhere will see it someday and laugh at it though. It wouldn't be a proper stream if you didn't drop something.
That makes sense.
Alright, we got that. This case is outfitted with a hot swap bay on the front.
So there's like a C, that's my C drive or what?
Yeah, that should be your C drive that you have in there. I don't remember which drive I had in here for boot and which drive I had in here not for boot, but it doesn't matter. We are just going to go ahead and plug directly into the back plane. I need a little bit of light. Gorgeous. Snaps. Through it. Actually, no, I'd have to dig for a power cable. This back plane is IDE powered. Or not IDE, it's Molex powered. Line it up correctly. That's what that drive caddy does for it. It lines it up, gets it working. Once we get this running, we are probably going to move it out of the way while your data copies. And literally just let it run on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I had more space.
That's all good.
But actually, we might be able to make some space. If I had a table twice this size, I could put everything off to
So we're copying the data from that
far left.
to this one?
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and copy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Samsung's own tool that allows you to make a full image of a previous drive. So the disk will actually be bootable.
Okay.
It saved me time and it just copies everything, but it should be fast because it's SSD to SSD.
Okay.
The limit will be on how fast your drive can copy, but it's only a 120 gig drive, like it can't take that long.
Yeah.
You know? Alright. Now the hope is that this drive will boot the system. But if it doesn't, I'm going to have to go dig for a slower Intel system. Slower in that it doesn't have a full speed NVMe. But we don't need it. No, leave that disconnected. Alright. Power. I buried my power cable since the last stream. Always have the PC power cable plugged into a power strip though. I use them for testing all sorts of other equipment. Alright. So with any luck, this will actually turn on and do what we want it to do.
Okay.
But if not, it'll blue screen.
What?
Then I'll have to try it in the other one because you left your parts at home.
Oh,
For those on stream, he was supposed to bring the whole PC built, but he had already started taking it apart before he came over and talking to me, so he left the old motherboard at home, or we would have just booted it in place. It's a lot easier. And look, it did boot right up. We got lucky. Alright.
So that's good, right?
Yeah, we'll be able to copy your data.
Okay. Do I need to log in?
You do, and I need to grab a keyboard from the garage. I have a small wireless USB keyboard I'm going to grab.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
Hey guys, apparently my audio was off this whole time. We're having battery issues. I'm gonna swap my battery.
I got some things. Of course, the batteries are good when I check for tests, and then they're done by the time we actually start.
No, it's all good.
These early streams are going to be kind of cringe.
That's all good.
And that's literally the whole point.
Yeah. You want to use this?
It's fine, I already swapped it.
Okay, my mic should be back. I checked battery levels when I left, and they were good. You've got to get a keyboard for the PC we're testing. There's always one thing you forget and you have to go digging for. I have 2 test benches, and the keyboard is at the other one. Go figure. Need to get more. Clearly. Well, I have to go back and forth, and you can use another cheap keyboard. Okay, so to reiterate, since I don't know when audio cut out, we are copying my friend's data before building his new PC on the bench so that we can make sure we got all of his files. There you go. Go ahead and log in. Awesome. Windows is a lot smarter than I give it credit for. I assume everything's going to fail, because it always does for me when I've had a rig long enough. Let's see what's what. I don't remember which drive I built. Perfect. I found my files. On here is a copy of Samsung Data Migration, dated recently enough that it'll work. This is why I keep drives ready. You wanted to get this done as fast as possible. We would have spent an extra half hour downloading all your tools, all my tools at your house if I had forgotten them, or just if I didn't have them ready at all.
Okay.
Alright, select target drive, C Windows, Samsung 970 Evo Plus. Boom! And it's copying away.
Is it okay?
Hit OK.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. If I were you building a new PC, I would have bought one of these drives. Just as an input to you. This is a good rig, and a 120 gig boot drive still works today. In the next couple of years, we're going to see more games hopefully actually using SSDs, or potentially requiring them if they're console ports that rely on SSD technology to function. Because that's a new thing, especially on the Series X, on the PS5 some as well. Actually, the PS5 is even faster. Its theoretical speeds are much higher. Yep. Microsoft just went off the shelf, let's buy an NVMe drive, stick it in, and users can upgrade it easily that way. But let's try and sell them our drive. They always want to sell you their drive. I don't remember what the upgrade situation on the PS5 is. Just because it's got that custom setup like that, you may need to have like a storage data drive and then a performance data drive where your games are actually installed and you hot swap them back and forth. I remember seeing a few things about that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't remember if you ended up getting a console or not,
So
but
this is like my operating system on your build? Okay.
your old OS on here. And it's just gonna go ahead.
It looks like my computer.
Yeah. Did the utility close?
I think so.
What the heck?
I think it's...
It was supposed to shut down when it was done. It's supposed to be copying. Where'd it go? Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know where it installed. I'm just gonna uninstall it and reinstall it. Oh! No, never mind, that's that one. Yeah, I looked away and it just disappeared.
Yeah, it's disappeared again. Okay. This is uninstall complete.
Cool.
Okay.
It should have been running, but then it just went away.
Next.
Just gonna jump around on the box. Shiny product boxes make really piss poor mouse pads. Okay, it's running now.
Okay.
And it just closed again. Great.
Shit.
Backup plan. Backup plan is go ahead. All your stuff is going to be in your C users, you think, right? You don't have anything in a separate spot on C?
I have no idea. I mean, the pictures, like, I just have pictures and, like, videos.
And it just goes to your default My Pictures folder, your default Pictures folder?
I think so.
Cool.
Also make sure like my taxes, my tax stuff, like my documents doesn't get deleted.
Yeah, definitely.
Like basically everything on the desktop just needs to be saved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see. This wasn't initialized in Windows at all. That's probably why it kept cutting out on me.
Okay.
Let's try that now. Okay. And then it uninitialized the disk again, but didn't run. Alright, I'm just going to format the disk and copy data directly to it. What I was going to do until I realized it was initialized.
And also I need to save those videos too.
Look at all that.
Yeah. Okay.
That your Modern Warfare gameplay.
Yeah.
You got the new 2019 Modern Warfare. Doesn't even fit on your boot drive. Well, I mean, that's the one that's like 200 gigs almost, right? Yeah, and you have a 120 gig SSD. It doesn't even fit. Can't even fit one game on it. I mean, yeah, everyone puts it on the D because the D is always big. You always want a big D. But got him. All right. That drive is ready. I'm just gonna restart File Explorer. It doesn't show up yet. PC. New volume.
The new operating system or something, or what?
Which one?
Are you uploading Windows or something? Or?
Right now I'm copying all your personal files.
Oh, okay, we're just backing up.
We're backing up your data, yeah. Because if you had installed Windows on this drive, the way I was recommending, you would have had to wipe all your data.
Okay.
You don't want that. I'm going to copy all of your files there. And guys, this is a great way to back up data quickly. If you have a couple of SSDs, just go in, copy users, and then copy program files on the drive. You want to go in and open up your hidden files as well, like program data, in case you have any saves in there. Sometimes games like to save in your hidden program data folder. And in users, there's also a folder sometimes called app data. But by copying the whole users folder, you get that anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's nested inside of the users folder.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You just won't know you got it unless you make sure it was shown, and you did.
Yeah.
You are doing better than 95% of users out there by having that visible. Probably needed it at some point. Okay, that's all running. We are going to carefully make some space while that runs. Carefully. Because your drive is just hanging. It's just hanging out. So we have full control over the PC while that runs. I'm going to put your case screws over there with the rest of the screws. All the screws. We're getting everything set up. So on the off chance that this board needs a BIOS update, we have one ready for it. I ran into an issue in the last stream where I tested my friend's new parts, hoping for a positive end to the evening after his other system with a 4790K ended up dead. We decided to order a CPU for that, by the way. We're ordering a 4590 non-K to test if we can get it to revive at all. Get some life out of it still. You never want to waste a working system if you can still use it. E-waste is a huge problem, and as much as people like to say you want the latest and greatest, you don't always need it. You just don't. So we've got his 5800X today, and the X570 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi. We're not going to do a full guide on everything, but I'm going to go over the basics. So, Dylan, on every CPU made by either AMD or Intel, there will be a little arrow, very small, indicating where it goes. And on here, like there's an arrow there. If you can't see it very well, on AMD, usually the lettering aims toward the lettering on the top of the socket as well. That's another way that people don't tell you, because it may change. But at current time, it is valid. You're going to have a lot of files that want to copy and won't. Open in Windows Search. Why is that open in Windows Search? Oh, that's a database document. I'm just going to skip that. Those are going to get recreated by Windows anyway. We don't need that. Alright. So the CPU's in the socket. Boom. Place the files. Yeah. Alright. We're not going to do the thermal paste yet. We're going to do the cooler last. I'm just going over this because I'm realizing that I'm going to need to grab an extra power cable to test everything with. Unless all this copying gets done before I'm done. No, that's 41 gigs though. That's not going to happen that fast. If it was NVMe to NVMe, it would have been done already. Or it would be getting near done. But it's an old, I'm assuming Gen 3 SATA drive. I don't even know if it's Gen 3 though. Probably Gen 3. How long have you had that drive?
Since like 2017 maybe.
2017 is definitely Gen 3. We're going to install the RAM on the two closest slots to the CPU. Those are slots 1 and 3, because those are the corresponding spots for each channel. You get dual channel memory that way. Faster bandwidth. You want more bandwidth, always. And we're going to use the 2080. This is just a regular 2080, not a 2080 Super or a 2080 Ti, but it is nonetheless a GPU. He got offered a GPU for a very reasonable price in this shortage, and I told him to snap it up. Get it while he could, because he was going to be really happy with a 2080. It's a good graphics card. I'll give it that. Plywood, etc., or buy something nice and pre-built. But that costs a good amount of money. You'd be surprised how much a good open bench costs. A lot of the really nice high-end ones, they cost more than your case and more than your power supply. Like, specifically more than a closed case a lot of the time. They'll be made out of cast aluminum and other nice high-quality materials. And that says it's going to take a long time, but it's not going to take that long.
Okay.
Boom. Copying small files on SSDs is still always going to be the limitation. That's why we go for them.
55 minutes? It's not going to take that long now?
It's going to vary the time. We'll see how long it actually takes. Check the time now.
Okay.
I'm just going to let it keep running.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we can definitely test if your parts work or not.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Do I have another power cable floating around that I can use? Do I have to go to my stash and garage again? I'm just going to go to the stash and garage.
Okay.
Alright guys, I'll be right off mic for a sec.
Make sure to turn this on when I come back.
Alright.
And we're back. We got the power cable. We can start seeing if stuff will turn on once we plug everything in. All right. First things first, we got our 24-pin motherboard connector. Intel wants that to go obsolete. We put all the power delivery on the board. And frankly, I think that's not unreasonable. They've got actually a really good idea there. You don't really need much these days besides 12 volts. If they can start engineering more parts to only use it, we'll all be happier for it. Oh yeah, I need a cooler. I haven't actually installed this cooler before, so I might be getting a little ahead of myself. I'm assuming that I'm going to have to take that bracket off, so I might actually need to take the power supply parts away. Yep, they have their own backplate. Look at that. So we're going to go back a step, pull that out.
Is the E the Samsung drive?
Yes. That is what I did there. So I'm going to be a little rougher than you probably would be if you're new at this, because you know how to handle it. This board is built incredibly sturdy. You can basically just hold the whole thing. For those of you that don't see, this whole heatsink is very strong. They did a really good job. They anchored it to the board with at least 4 solid-looking screws. That's one of the most well-installed VRM, not VRM. VRM heat sinks and combo I/O plate all in one units. That's what you get when you buy a nice motherboard. This is why you buy the good stuff. So I'm going to switch screwdrivers for that. This board has a big chunky screw. Oh, look at that. You're copying big files now, and your drive is hitting 166 megabytes a second. It's reasonable. You're getting about 1.25 gigabit there. It just slowed way down again, though. Every time I hit small files, it slows way down. Yeah. I have no idea how fast this SSD is. Like, even if the interface on it said it's got XYZ speed, if the processing on the drive can't keep up, then the drive will be slower. That's why drive controllers make so much of a difference. Because you want to have a drive controller from a good manufacturer. Alright. Let's see which holes it goes to. AM4 is labeled. So it's the further out, yeah. The difference between AM3 and 4 is so small. Yeah. I honestly don't know why they changed it, but I think it has something to do with not wanting stock coolers to be installed necessarily on them. But that's the thing is, as far as I know, the clip is the same on the new ones and the old ones. I haven't tested for sure. My guess is it looks identical, but they changed something.
Is that a cooler right there, or what?
This is a backplate.
Oh, no, that.
Oh yeah, that's a cooler for sure, and it's also covering all of your outputs to protect them.
Alright, and what's that, like a fan?
That is a fan to cool your chipset. That is the hub of the motherboard. Everything that branches off, that doesn't come off of the CPU, comes off of there, and there's a communication between the two.
Alright,
Yep.
What's that for?
This here is a
a cover for where an SSD would go if you had gotten an NVMe drive. This is what everyone's getting now. See, like this board comes with two. Like
That's where the GPU goes?
And then the GPU goes in that silver slot right there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've never installed one of these coolers before, so I'm going to look at how they want me to use what mounting mechanisms. AMD, wow, the installation instructions are like half the size for AMD is for Intel. That's really funny. M3x16 screws through it. Is this thing threaded? It's not. You're gonna have... I gave you a little wrench, an angled wrench to install it with.
Wow.
That's cute. Wait, though, I'm still confused as to what the M3 part anchors to. Oh, I see. These look bigger than they were. Interesting. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm just looking over all the different parts. Okay.
Is it the old one?
That's your old backplate, yeah. People say pros don't use manuals. Dude, pros use manuals all the time. Pros know how to learn the information in the first place. I see. So you have a pair of retention brackets that mount onto the cooler. I'm assuming like that. Yeah, that looks correct. Those are going to mount using these screws. See, I didn't even have to look at the manual to figure that out. This is the same mounting mechanism style that Cooler Master used and still uses now for quite a while on their later revision Hyper 212 coolers. They used to have a thing that would bolt through the board and hold under here, and it was not secure. You could spin on the last stream, like that's one right there. I could literally spin the cooler back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly on top of the CPU and leave a mark in the heat spreader. You don't want that.
That's my boss calling me. Hold on. Hey, how's it going? Hello? Hey, how's it going? It's okay. Oh, shit. Okay. That's okay. Okay. I think it was 9023L. It was the 2000. It was a Q5 blue light metallic with the black optic. Okay, thank you for it. Thanks, bye. Sorry about that.
It's okay. And we're back. Muted up for a second there. You got a phone call. This is a really interesting mounting mechanism. They have a push-through thing that's threaded on both sides, and then bits that connect to it. Hi guys. Hi guys. I'm actually on stream right now. I forgot to mute this. I'm gonna mute up. I'll be in a couple hours. I left TeamSpeak open on speaker.
Yeah.
I really did not have a lot of time to prepare for this stream. But you know what? The people want content.
My friends have been asking me, hey, where's that coming? How's it doing? Is it happening? And it's like, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Interesting. So this is going to bolt. Wait, did I install these on the right side? That's a good question. I don't know if I actually did. No, I didn't. I installed them backwards. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't tighten them down yet anyway. I only did them under hand thread tension.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's a very secure design, but the screws come through from the back.
What do we do with that?
Oh yeah, another file. NT user data. Skip.
Oh, I did it again.
Non-essential temp files.
I think it just isn't. Is it done now or what?
Oh yeah, look at that. You are the proud owner of a backed up PC.
Oh yeah.
At least all the essential stuff.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and look back a bit. There's really not much in there. Because the only other thing left are logs, Intel drivers, and Windows.
Okay.
And a Windows backup partition marker, apparently, but you don't need that. Completely irrelevant. We're about to destroy it.
So is this going to help cool the PC, the whole PC case, or is this going to help cool the
This is to keep your processor cool.
CPU?
Yeah, the CPU. That CPU is probably going to pull somewhere in the realm of 115 to 150 watts
Okay.
at full load, depending on the type of load. And this cooler is roughly rated for that. It looks like this cooler is actually a Be Quiet clone of a Hyper 212 in terms of its design and capabilities. So it's like the 212 is right there. You literally can hold it in your hand and evaluate the similarities.
Yeah.
They're both roughly rated for the same heat dissipation. And this will do fine. You're not doing any insane overclocking. You may not get 100% of the performance that you would have with a more expensive cooler, but you really don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. A 5800X is going to be plenty, and the difference on a benchmark is going to be not significant enough for you to notice in a game.
Uh-huh.
Unless your game is already very CPU bound, in which case, well, there's really not much you can do at this point. Couple years maybe. But right now, 5800X, there's really not much you can do besides overclock it, or see if the game needs more cores in addition to more clock speed or more processing per second.
Yeah.
As I'm gonna call it. It's called instructions per second. All right. So the motherboard back plate goes like that. And they want you to thread through one of the holes. Wait, do they? Yeah, they do. Hold on. There we go. It's got some different spots on it that make it harder to push through. Boom. We're just going to install these screws and stick it through all at once, rather than doing what I was doing. That's probably what they say to do in the directions, but we're not reading those at this point. I figured out enough on my own. I'm an adult. I don't need an adult. Interesting. So it's like a sort of removable captive screw. It is both a captive screw and a removable screw all at once. That's really interesting. And then it has these little plastic spacer washer things that clip it to the board. You know what? Be quiet. Well done. I thought this was really weird at first because of how it assembled, because I've never handled one. This mounting mechanism is not bad. Alright, and that's all in place. So I'm assuming they were expecting you to install it this way in a case, but since we don't have one, you want to hold that cooler for me? Put pressure on the top. Just put pressure on it and hold it in place.
I'm holding it.
You are. Try not to swear. It's okay. The first few streams aren't monetized anyway, but I'm trying to keep from getting in trouble. Right there. Screw 1 is in. Screw 2 is in. I no longer need your help. As far as I can tell. Got it.
This is gonna fit, right?
Yeah, it should fit fine. It doesn't even touch your RAM. It doesn't come out as far as some coolers. That is a good thing to consider, you know. Though not quite this late in the process, but that is a consideration. There are coolers on the market that have limited RAM compatibility because of, well, the problem is that RAM these days frequently has stuff that makes it even just the slightest bit taller than a standard DIMM is supposed to be. I just realized I forgot thermal paste.
Oh shit.
It's okay.
Good thing you remembered, right?
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, it's fine. I was trying to figure out how to install the cooler. I was so focused on it.
This is done, right? The computer.
Yeah, your computer is done. We can turn that off if we want.
That's okay.
There we go. So that's how that installs. It's a learning experience for me too. I like dry installing coolers I've never installed before anyway. If something goes wrong, you'll have thermal paste all over the place.
Yeah.
It can create a mess and you have to clean it up. And this thermal paste is expensive.
Really?
This is like, Cryonaut is one of the best thermal pastes on the market in terms of performance. But in terms of performance per dollar, you are far better off going with our trusty friends from Arctic and buying a tube of MX4 or MX5, something like that, which I would have used today, but because of how much you've helped me out in the past, the various ways you do, you get the good thermal paste.
Oh, there you go.
I take care of my friends that take care of me.
Oh, thanks.
The difference is going to be negligible, but it's worth mentioning. And this is why you use a thermal paste spreader. Sometimes people say that a small bead is all you need, right guys? Well, that small bead is not spreading very well. And that's what people say you want. So we're going to put more. This tube's almost done anyway. Boom. Paste for days.
What does that do? It regulates temperature or something?
So the CPU's surface is not flat.
Oh, okay.
There will be gaps, there will be high points, there will be low points, and many of them, although the CPU heat spreader is usually as flat as they can get, sometimes they'll come out bowed, and sometimes they'll engineer them that way to try and make better contact with a stop cooler design that provides less pressure than they would like, so they compensate for it by redesigning the CPU slightly. This spreads a lot better when I'm doing it on a GPU than on a CPU. I'm going to call that good. I know there's some voids, but it's all going to get squeezed out anyway. I'm just going to... There we go. Lots of paste. And we got a little paste on the board. Clean that up. Now, we're going to properly install this cooler and actually boot the system. Alright, you want to hold that again? I see a way that I could do it one-handed, hold it all together, but I'm not gonna. Okay, that's in. I think I got that on.
Oh, I think it's in there.
No, it's in there. I'm feeling resistance, so it's in there. So guys, normally we always advise that you build the system out as much as you can before you put it in the case. This would be a time where I would have advised that you actually install the cooler after the board is in the case if you were building a system with it yourself. Just because it would probably have been easier to do. I also forgot to get the cord out. I got it now. That's ready.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's wrapped around in there all nice. You know, I don't want to disturb it. It's really comfy. That cord is having a nice little nap. I tend to anthropomorphize my computers.
Yeah.
Like it's not a machine, it has feelings. I'm gonna switch so people can see better, so I can get my strong hand in for the tightening at the end. These have a lot of travel. It's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable is how much travel it has. But, I mean, the board's not bowed or anything. It's not like it's putting too much pressure on it in one spot.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. I think it looks solid. So we're gonna do a little bit of cable management magic here. This cable is nice and tense. So I'm gonna find the way it needs to orient to mount. And that's CPU fan 1, that's the header we want. It doesn't really matter which one you plug it into, you just need to make sure that the profile is calibrated correctly for the device you're cooling.
Okay.
Yep. And then we're gonna put some kinks in the cable and neatly tuck that cable away out of view. Yeah. And it is in there, you can't even see it. And I'm already getting a ton of thermal paste on my brand new mod mat. That's fine. This mat is gonna get dirty. It's only a matter of time before it got its first scars, stains, war wounds, whatever you want to call them. Let's get cleaned up. Coolers always come with so much stuff. Look at all these individual bags. Be quiet. If you ever watch this, one thing you could improve is to use those bags that are perforated in the center and sealed through the center for all your screws, and only provide Ziplocs where necessary. Labeling parts with paper, stickers. Better for the environment than all this plastic. And it would still serve the same function perfectly. Just do a little more cleanup there, put that SSD away. I did not put that in there properly. There we go. A clean workspace is a happy workspace. So your processor is cooled. Let's see if we get a picture when we turn it on.
You put in the GPU?
That's what we're gonna do. Always do the GPU last. And you don't peel the new case until you're done building either, if you ever get a new case.
We didn't peel the case.
When you know the peel on the glass,
Oh, yeah.
if you peel it before the case is fully built and it doesn't start up properly, you're going to get fingerprints all over it, troubleshooting it, and you're also just going to have bad luck.
Oh, man.
People say it's bad luck.
That's funny.
Speaking of bad luck, I should put the GPU in the correct slot. There we go.
Is it in there?
Yeah, it would have turned on with it in the other one, but performance, were you to actually run it in that
So
fashion.
there's two GPU slots, but one's better.
There are two PCI Express slots, and one is actually intended for GPU use. The other is actually electrically X8. So yeah, you could put a GPU in both. You wouldn't want it these days.
Okay.
Not unless you're doing video editing or anything that uses like a lot of GPU, but you need to. You don't even need to for that. Like most of the professional editors I see only use one. I only know of one person that uses multiple GPUs, and his rig is like, it's something entirely on another scale. I'm not even going to go into it. It's just going to make everyone jealous. We got people on the stream. Chris, what are we blowing up today? Yeah, the second camera, it fell somewhere and I haven't had time to troubleshoot it. We were trying to get him in and out of here as quickly as possible. And the cable for the second camera is caught and I have to dig for it. So that's not happening. Unfortunately, that's not happening. But at least the stream is working. All right, we're gonna shut this down. We don't need it anymore anyway. Let me bring this over here. Oh, that's so much better. Quieter. You're blocking the camera a bit, by the way. It's okay. You're gonna make mistakes just like me. I'm new to streaming too, so.
Yeah.
Alright, here we are. Do you have a power button on the board? You do not. Let's find your front header. Should be in here somewhere. So where did you hide the front case panel headers?
Is there a button to turn it on?
There's no button, no. Some boards come with it. That's the first thing I looked for. Normally they would all be right down in this corner, but all I see is USB. Lots of system fan headers. You have 4 system fan headers down there.
Is that good?
Oh yeah, you don't have 4 system fans as far as I know. I haven't looked yet.
I only have one fan.
Yeah. Am I actually going to have to go to the manual?
Should we put it in the computer and start it up?
Well, that's the thing, that I would still need to plug this into the computer.
Oh, okay.
What I'm looking for. They actually don't have a really obvious front panel header. What did this come with? Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna look at that owner's manual. I'm sure that there's a quick start guide in here that shows you, you know, all the stuff you don't care about. That's hilarious. The whole installation guide is for an Intel rig in the first place. Yeah, the graphic they use is all for I mean, that could be Threadripper, but it looks like Intel. It's funny. No, that is Threadripper. Never mind. They have only Threadripper and Intel installation, but it's an AMG board. Yeah. They literally. Oh, JFP. You know what? JFP1. That's the front panel. It's just so small and it's not labeled. They didn't label anything on it. They labeled where it was, but not what it is. I'm gonna poke these until we find what turns on. There it is.
Oh, wow.
There's your front panel.
How'd you do that?
I shorted those two pins right there. The ones that are the top two there, that was your front panel button. You just got to shorten them real quick. Any piece of metal will do it.
Wow. There's a bunch of lights in there too.
Yeah, your graphics card lights up. And we've got RGB behind the board, it looks like.
Yeah.
You've got a post indicator.
What's a post indicator?
Power on self-test indicator.
Okay.
These little lights here mean something.
Yeah.
CPU, VGA, DRAM, boot. It is currently on boot. Memory module were found on non-optimized slots. What? I plugged them into the right slots, I thought. Did they want me to do it differently? Or did I switch which slots they recommend? I see what they did, I think. Let me get to the English section of the manual. This might be one of these weird boards where they actually want you to install them side by side.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's dual channel though. I think maybe they just glitched out and detected it wrong. That's really cool that they have a warning about the RAM being in the correct channels or not though. But yeah, your system posts. You don't need a BIOS update.
I don't need a BIOS update?
Yeah, if anything, if there's any weird performance issues, when we get it set up, we'll update the BIOS.
Okay.
But
Should we start putting it together?
I see. So yeah, that is, I did it correctly. I don't know why it told me I didn't do it correctly.
So what do you do that then? What do you do now?
Now we're gonna install Windows.
Okay.
Yeah. Look. Where's my headlamp? I need some light over here.
Saw it around here somewhere.
I put it here. Found it. I have to fish out. Actually, no. The board came with SATA cables. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I literally have been reusing my old SATA cables so long that I forget boards come with new ones.
Yeah.
I mean, SATA 6,
That connects the,
SATA 3, SATA 6 gig hasn't gotten an upgrade in generations.
Does that connect the SSD or something?
Yeah, this is going to connect the SSD.
What's up?
This is going to connect your old boot drive to the new system. Yeah. So we're going to do this in this order. I need to get the boot drive out of here, and I need to clear the space. So we're going to build your rig first.
Okay.
Since we know this works on a bench,
Yeah.
let's get it off the bench into a computer and install Windows.
Okay. Okay, who knows?
It took a little longer to do it that way, but it works.
Yeah. You can keep that in there, right?
No, this comes out. This has to come out to install the case. Yeah, put it aside. We're going to put everything on the futon. Leave that there. We'll need that.
What's up here?
Bring it on up. Boom. You got your case. Let's lay it flat. And you've already got some cable management done. That's good. I would have done this differently, though, than what they did.
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
good.
gonna put that there, spot me, and make sure I don't break anything. And we're gonna do a little bit of pre-cable management. Really interesting spots to mount. Oh, it comes off that way. I haven't had a case that did that in a while. One of my old Cooler Master half cases did that. Whoever built this routed this through the motherboard cutout for mounting a cooler when it should have come through the side right here. And like, I buy power. There's a rat's nest in here. There's no zip ties. Oh, you did all that? Oh, then it's his fault. This is his fault. Rip. Wah wah.
I put in the new ESU.
That's right. Didn't your power supply die on you at some
Well,
point?
I thought my issues was a PSU problem.
You need more power?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. But at least you have an 850 watt.
Yeah.
That'll support any modern system up to a 3090.
Yeah.
Which I doubt you want to spend $2,000 plus on right now.
No. How much they're going for now?
The good ones are going for that, and the cheap ones are typically like 1900 at least. But like with tax, you know.
You need the screws?
Yeah, we have all the screws though.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing under there. Normally I would route all these cables after, but in a pre-built rig, it is better to keep them in place because then you can route them quickly. I normally build in cases that are somewhat... Oh, I see what I forgot. I'm like, why isn't it going in all the way? I forgot to take out the panel because your other one... The other one didn't have it attached. Perfect, it popped right in. More or less. Almost. It climbed up. Awesome. Yep. Ooh. Right there. Dropping a screw. I'm really glad I cleaned my workspace. I've been able to find things when they fall so much quicker. That wants to go sideways for some reason. Why does it want to... Oh, I see. This one's a little cross-threaded. We're going to use that screw last.
I'm going to put one in right there.
Cool. We're going to leave the center hole in your motherboard open for that screw. Use it last. Yeah, this is how it should go. This is not how it went for me when I set up my friend's PC, but this is how it should go.
There's another screw right here too.
That's the one I said was cross-threaded.
Okay. You're going to put that right there?
I'm going to put it right there if we use it at all. I might just leave it out. It doesn't need all mine. I've built computers with this before with 4 screws. I only had 4 screws on hand because friend brought over his rig and left all his screws at home. So I used what I had spare from a previous XL-ATX build. The case had room for a board that took an extra row of screws, so it gave me 4 extras as a spare. And room for an ITX, which takes another 4, so I had a kit for that. Actually, wait, I'm skipping that. What am I doing? And, so I had like 8 total, but I had to use 4 of them mounting his SSDs. Because they were old SATA SSDs. I don't think we ever bothered to screw that PC together all the way.
Which one?
The one that we used 4 screws on.
Oh, shit.
On the motherboard.
Yeah. How many screws is this one in?
Keep that away from those.
Okay.
That's the one that was cross-threaded, I can tell. I put it away from them for a reason. Boom. And I got it again. Huh?
There's a lot of screws in there.
Yeah, there's 9 screws on a standard ATX motherboard if you screw it in fully. And as I said before, you definitely don't need to screw it in fully. Well, that screw's going to be a pain. Oh, no, I got it to fall right off my screwdriver into the hole.
There you go.
Yeah, that was... There we go. Tried to cross thread, so I backed it out. It's in. We've got 8 out of 9, and I have 2 screws to pick between that are both cross-threaded. I'm going to take the one that's only very, very slightly cross-threaded.
Take a picture of a PC.
Go ahead. Yeah, take a picture of my rig if you want. It hasn't been featured on stream yet, but I think I have it as one of the channel icons somewhere. If not, then we'll eventually have photos of it. That's what I call my COVID compensator build. You know, when I build a big, extra looking rig like that, it's always because I'm compensating for either something going wrong in my life outside that I can't control and I just want to have a good time, or it's because I'm compensating for my rig being garbage and old and making a very vast upgrade. And this was both of those. I upgraded because of COVID, and because although my rig wasn't garbage, I had literally just upgraded. And realized I have a stimulus check coming. I'm going to do a stimmy build. You know, have a good time with it. This case puts your SSDs right up next to all the front panel headers and other things. And the board is different. So I'm going to pull all that out. We're going to go through one at a time and reconnect everything fresh and new. We need to anyway, right? What's this connected to? Oh, there's a hard drive in there. That's right. I'm glad I didn't yank on that too hard. Yeah, your hard drive is down in there. I forgot about it. Your wee old... What is that? 1 terabyte?
Oh yeah, the D drive?
Yeah. Your hard drive. I don't know what that foam is.
I don't even know what that goes.
Yeah, where'd that foam come from? What is that foam? That doesn't look like part of a PC. I'm just going to take it out.
Yeah, I don't even know what this does, I mean, honestly.
It might have been vibration dampening or something they put in for the drive that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, what was that?
I literally don't know. I have absolutely no idea. You know what? Do you want your SSD visible or do you not care?
I mean, I don't really care.
Good, because I'm going to mount it back here instead.
Okay.
It's going to be better.
Alright.
This spot is going to get the drive out of the way of the other cables.
Okay.
There's too many cables going to one spot on your motherboard, and it's going to break something. Oop. Let's put this back with your motherboard. You can put that in the box yourself. Oh, crack my back.
What is this? So the driver's and license or...
You don't need that. That's old. That's ancient technology.
These came with little screws too.
It came with screws for the... Okay, those little screws, do not lose these.
Yeah.
You need these. We're going to take one out today,
Okay.
and this bag is going to get opened.
Okay. What is that for?
These are to hold SSDs in place.
Okay.
The NVMe, the gumstick drives.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to install another gumstick drive in your computer, you need one of those. I'll show you right now.
I mean, it's all good, but...
I mean, we need to get this drive out again anyway. Or, no, we need to get the other one out anyway. But yeah, like, go right at the top there in the board.
Okay.
Oh, I know what this screw came from. It came from that. That's what that was. There's another one right there. Yep. All right. I know I'm putting that screw. Yeah, that was the one that came with your case. Because that one that was slightly cross-threaded threaded into there perfectly.
Really?
Yeah. I figured out where that screw came from.
There you go.
Uh-huh. All right. First things first. Let's grab your drive. Oh, wait. There we go. Why are...
Is it the other way, or?
There's 2 less screws than I needed of your M3 screws. But not to fear. I have a big bag of M3 screws back here somewhere if I can get behind the camera. Actually, do I have any in here? No, I don't know. I don't think I lost them. I think I used them on your motherboard. And your motherboard didn't have 9 screws or something.
Yeah, I think the motherboard only came with like
7 or something. It had to have.
5 or something.
It had to have been 7. That's silly. They didn't even install it using all the screws. Alright, I'm going to pull a pair out of there instead of finding mine. Alright. They should literally be right back here. But I have this area blocked off still again.
Yeah.
Sorry, those that might actually be watching. I have a pile of project boxes back here. And I have a whole bag of 1,000 M3x6 standard motherboard PC screws. They're probably buried away somewhere. This is a box from another case.
You can't use these.
No, those are 632. Yeah, I have a massive pile of them that came with my Corsair case for the same purpose.
Okay.
And they gave me enough screws to use 4 with every drive. So we're just going to use 2 because your drive only needs 2.
Okay.
SSD don't need 4. And these are literally the perfect type as well.
Okay, cool.
Let's take these. Grab them. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to turn my hand over and drop them.
Yeah. Where do these go?
Those are going to go in your SSD. Hold it in the caddy, but I'll do it. It's fine.
Sure.
You need to get out of my way. There we go. Yeah, it is a pain in the ass. No, you can say that. You just can't put the 4-letter word with H starting after it. In fact, if you say the word, you can say the word itself and then censor the 4-letter part that comes after it. And you're good to go. Because YouTube is in enough regions where, that's colloquialism for other things. And they can't tell in the algorithm very well yet if you're talking about like a donkey or something else like that. You just want to avoid 4-letter words in general.
Yeah.
And other things. My god, this screw just wants to cross-thread for days. I got it in though. This is where you have me do it.
And you're just gonna put that right there.
Uh-huh. Your case has a spot for it. Right there. And there's the screw. Ta-da!
Nice.
Move your SSD back there. That goes to the motherboard, to your hard drive.
So the SATA cable?
Yeah. Serial ATA, or SATA.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to use the new cable I pulled out for that because it's straight on both ends. This thing is angled, and I don't know if it's going to work with the motherboard. Where it is or not. Okay, so we've got both our SATA sorted. Let's get power, the SSD. That's where the L is, so it'll go in that way. When you install power on an SSD, there's an L link in the cable connector, so you don't put it on wrong. It's keyed specifically to the power, which is good because it enables you to have hot swappable SSDs in servers and machines that might need them.
Any light?
No, I don't need any light. SATAs are always oriented the same way on these motherboards. I'm going to put those side by side so that they're easier for you to service should you need to. I am, however, going to need some light. Where's my headlamp? Again. I keep putting it down and forgetting where I put it, even though I put it in the same spot every time. Well, we know where power goes because we've shorted it already. Where's that motherboard manual? MSI, why is this not printed on the board? I understand you can print it on a piece of paper. It's really easy.
Things were for the lights.
No, one of them is for the hard drive LED, but one of them is your reset switch. Probably. Oh! Maybe they're both lights. I don't know. That's actually a good question.
Because these little things, I know they're all like down there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know what everything does on there. Yeah. Okay. Power LED. Which one's the plus? That one's the plus. LEDs are unidirectional. You gotta plug them in positive and negative. Hard drive LED. I don't know why they do that for one of these, but not the other though. They've always done that. Yeah. So you don't have a reset switch. But you do have a hard drive LED, and it's nice to know when your hard drive is doing stuff. I can't see mine on my computer, but I have I just open Task Manager and look at the detailed view of what my disk is doing. I like knowing how much bandwidth it's consuming and making sure it's actually operating at the speed it is. If I'm checking something like that, it's because I'm impatient. It's either not working or it's not working fast enough. It's like, yeah, I can see that data's flowing. That's not what I was trying to figure out today, guys. Thanks. Come again. Yeah. Hope that's your USB 3 front panel. Yep. Oh, that's upside down. Yeah, but yeah, if you want...
What's that blue thing on there?
What blue thing?
Oh, I thought it was a cover.
No, the blue signifies that it's USB 3, just the base generation USB 3. I'm not going to go into all the different USB 3s. It's really, really dumb the way they named USB 3 generations, as it were, and types. It's a total cluster. Yeah. Total cluster. Gonna leave it at that. One of these days, I'm going to get a hip-mounted bleep button. Linus from Linus Tech Tips, bless him, got a Go XLR Pro Mini. I don't remember the exact version, but he got one of those Go XLR devices that streamers really like that you've probably never heard of, but I have. Did you bring the thumb screws over here, or did they get pushed around? There were screws up here that hold the graphics card in.
These are right here.
Oh, those, you didn't use thumb screws.
No,
Oh, the case didn't use thumb screws.
Yeah, those.
Oh, they're fired.
Right.
They're fired. I buy power, thumb screws.
No, these are the ones.
Everything comes with thumb screws these days. Why are you not giving us thumb screws? I can see you don't have a lot of space there.
Yeah. Okay, so from the other side.
They want you to screw it in through there. I already recognized that. But there should still be thumb screws
Yeah.
just because they're easier to use.
Okay.
I do the final tightening by hand, even if I use a screwdriver to get it all the way in. Most of the way, faster. Because I never know when I'm going to need to pull something and I don't have my screwdriver handy. There, that's secure.
What is this for? Is it a sticker or something?
That is a case badge. Yeah, if you want to be like, hey, look at my pretty system
No. Okay.
with AMD Ryzen processor on it and all that, you know?
No, I'll bring everything just in case.
Oh yeah, start getting stuff put away since we don't need it anymore. Alright. And let's get your CPU power.
This is mine or yours?
What is? That's yours. I did not use any of my own SATA cables today. Your case came with 2 and your motherboard came with 2 and that was enough to do everything I needed.
Okay.
Yep. And since it doesn't matter anyway, we're gonna use the slower, most likely, M.2 on your motherboard to install the drive that all your data is backed up to.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I need to download any drivers?
We already downloaded all the drivers.
Oh, really?
Remember, we downloaded everything
yeah.
at the beginning.
Then you that's for the RAM and everything too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Motherboard, everything?
I mean, you don't need RAM drivers specifically. RAM is...
System memory?
Yeah, system memory is one of those critical things that... Where did the SSD box go? There it is. Oh yeah, I need to get the drive out of the system though.
Okay.
That's right. Unplug that. It's just installed in there loose without a cover. You want to upright that for a moment?
Is that right?
Yeah, just lift it upright. But yeah, the BIOS updates are going to help with RAM compatibility and things like that. You know, if you're having any issues where RAM that should work is having minor errors and things like that. Actually, I'm going to put that screw back first. One thing I still need to order is a whole bunch of... I need to check the threading on that. It might be M3, it might be M2. 2mm screws. Because I'm going to lose some someday and be really mad I didn't have a big box of them ready.
Yeah.
This goes with your cooler, by the way.
Oh, really?
If you ever switch to Intel, you'll need that. MSI quick install guide. I'll just stick that in there. Oh, you should open up your motherboard box though again.
Okay.
You do not want to lose this. Where did this screw come from? Looks like a laptop screw.
Really?
Yeah. Labeled with blue paint. Laptop screws usually are. Oh, you know what that might have been? That might have been... Ah, doesn't matter. That's just loose in there for now. It's fine. Alright. Here's our backup data drive, which actually we're going to leave out for now. I'm going to leave that completely out while we install Windows. I'm also going to disconnect Yeah. I'm gonna disconnect your hard drive so I don't accidentally wipe it when I reinstall Windows. Yep. One thing I still need to do is plug in your front panel audio.
Put in the fan one too. The fan cable.
Uh,
What about this one?
You're good. You can ask questions. I just won't respond if I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. There's your USB front panel. There's your HD audio front panel. And you're never going to mix those two up because the pins are keyed differently.
What about this one right here? The fan one.
Oh, good eye. I thought
Those
I didn't actually plan where I was going to plug that in properly.
These just slack on the line.
Oh, there's plenty. It's just a matter of where did they hide.
Maybe last time I saw it, the other board, it was on like fan one.
Well, I know. It's not about like
Or
fan.
fan two or something like that.
Yeah, it's just where did they physically put it? Is the question.
On the other board, it was just somewhere like in the middle.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for right now. I didn't look closely at where fan headers were before I plugged it in. Because usually they have one really obviously right out there for you. But I don't see it underneath the cooler on either side. It would be in here somewhere, but the SSD is there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to route it through the back here to use up the slack. And we're just going to route it over to your pump. Oh, you know what? They put all your system fans down here. Yeah, way on the bottom. That's right. I remember now. I was commenting about that at the beginning, about what are all these system fan headers here for? There's a lot of system fan headers in one spot. Apparently they decided to organize the board by doing that. Alright. System fan 1 is plugged in. Fortunately, your cable is long enough to reach. Awesome. And I didn't even need to cable manage it. It just goes straight down.
There you go.
Yeah. Straight down, uses all the slack. I got one watch. 2 watches. I like how they put a pump. Oh, I see. I didn't put a screw in there.
Yeah,
whatever.
The link to the stream. My friend wants to know.
The link is the one I gave you before on your
Oh,
Discord.
okay.
Or did I give it to you on Discord or did I give it to you on Signal? Yeah, I gave it to you on Signal. Tell them to let us know if there's any issues.
Okay.
I don't think there is because Corgi, one of the admins over on the PC Boostin Discord and one of the people that's working on that PC Boostin YouTube, which you guys should go check out. They're our friends. They're just getting off the ground like we are. Getting in that YouTube environment for the first time. It can be rough getting started on YouTube, you know? It's very competitive these days. But if you've got friend channels to boost each other off of, it can be a lot easier. Look at me, I'm such a tech. I've literally got jacks for building Ethernet cables in my pockets. That's what I was doing last time I was wearing these, apparently. Alright. We're gonna... I'll leave it out this way. I need to be able to access the back easily while I do this, but... Oh, you got a Type-C port directly on your board. I'm going to use that. My USB thumb drives that I use for work are both Type-C compatible now. They're nice, fast. They're both nice, fast Type-C thumb drives. Which, speaking of, where did I put the other? Is it also in here? Probably is. There it is. Nope, that's my flashlight. Dang it. Where did I put the Windows install disk?
Was it on a thumb drive?
It was on a thumb drive.
Was it in the computer still?
It's not in my computer still. And it's not on my desk where I usually leave it. I thought I pocketed it. I'm gonna empty my pocket and be sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's not in there. Dang. Oh, is it? Yes! It's sticking out of the other computer, because that's what we were using it for.
Oh, that's what I figured it was.
I forgot I put that there. So that's the boot drive, and then here's the drivers. And let's just go over this real quick. I have your SSD installed for boot and nothing else. Should be the only drive that shows up. And I'm also going to need that for keyboard and mouse.
Okay. There's the keyboard right here.
Mouse. Oh, I didn't put power. Silly me. Grab that. I'm gonna be so happy when I build my full studio setup, and oh nice, your PC has glow. We're gonna have to coordinate that at some point with the rest of it.
What's glow?
It has these glow strips built into the case.
Nice.
Built-in RGB.
Yeah, it's got a lot of color in there now.
Oh.
Just the battlefield name.
That's so it's booting up. That's their logo for boot, but it's only booting into the bootable USB. I'm actually gonna kill it. It wants me to move the RAM to the other two slots.
Okay.
I always forget that it's the furthest two and not the closest two. See, logic says that you want the shortest path to CPU. But for some reason, the way it's engineered, they want it the opposite. I don't know why. I think it's dumb. And my memory won't let me remember to do it the correct way.
Yeah.
It just won't let me do it. It's one of those things where my reality and reality are in conflict.
Sort of cognitive dissonance.
Well, it's not cognitive dissonance. It's just me thinking something should be a way and trying to manifest it that way.
Yeah.
But in reality, you probably wouldn't see a performance difference, even though it's telling you to use the other two.
Yeah.
Some boards just won't post if you don't, though.
Should I put the password in?
Oh, no, I need to restart again and go to BIOS and tell it to boot.
Was the BIOS good though, or?
Yeah, everything seems good. If we want to update your BIOS at a later date because of an issue, I'll just come to your house and do it for you.
Okay.
Or I'll have Jordan go over and do it for you. Jordan's working on the channel with me as well, and he's like right by you.
There you go.
So
If
you have trouble support literally around the block.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to learn my way around this BIOS a little bit here. Memory is set to 2066.
We should set it to higher, right?
That was one of the first things I was going to look at is set your memory.
Because the last one I had was like set to like 2300 or something like that, and it was like my buddy said it was like horrible. So I think this is good. This is good to 3600, right?
It's supposed to be, yeah. The limiting factor is not going to be your memory modules themselves. It's going to be your CPU's memory controller, probably, because this is a really good motherboard. I don't think it's going to limit your RAM that much.
Okay. Yeah. So are we going to set it to XMP profile?
Yeah, I just need to figure out how they want me to do that, because I've never been inside MSI's UEFI before.
Okay.
I want to see if there's a way to change it to like an advanced mode.
Maybe like game boost on?
There's a search button.
Or like XMP?
Oh, AXMP on.
Probably use another hard drive. My buddy says I should use I could use another hard drive.
Yeah, I would get it. I would recommend getting an SSD like the one I use to copy your system.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
You know?
I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to buy the one off me that I have here right now, you know, that would have been an option. But
Yeah, we could.
do you want to do that? Because instead of doing we can ignore the data that's on there, backed up, and I can just disconnect it, install that, and stick your old drive in, and you can copy it manually.
What's easier?
It's easier to do it the way I just said.
How much is the thing?
This drive cost me $170.
170.
Yeah.
How much gigabytes is it?
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte's 1,000 gigabytes?
Yeah.
So basically it's just more storage.
It's a lot more storage for both your boot and your games that you want to have fast.
What if I wanted to put just like files on there, like video files or something?
I would put video files on your hard drive. If you need more space for that, I would buy. This is meant for fast booting and anything you want high performance on. You don't need it for games, but like if you need more space and you want to get a bigger SSD, this is the way to go. I think, because new games coming forward may require it.
Yeah, okay.
May be the operative. We don't know yet how soon PC games may or may not require that.
Wait, so basically because all this stuff's on there, or is it on the
They're on both drives right now, so I could literally install Windows on either drive at this point.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to convince you to buy my thing off me one way or the other. Like, I can keep it and be
I
fine.
mean, it's up to you. I mean,
It's up to you. It's your PC. I don't care.
Whatever's gonna be quickest, I guess. The quickest and easiest.
Yeah, I mean, since you're installing a new build right now, I think getting a new SSD would be the one thing that rounds it out. That'll be the one thing you're missing right now to have this PC be all current.
It's fine.
All right, then we'll do that. We will do that.
And it's gonna make the performance go up a little bit.
It'll definitely speed up your boot time. It'll speed up any general system performance. Also, in the future, if you need to back up data or you get other fast drives, the communication between the two will be.
You have to take out the.
I'm going to take out the graphics card just to get it out of the way, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to take it out to do it, but it's the fast slot is sandwiched in between the two. I was going to use the slow one, but now I'm going to install it in the good one.
So that's going to show up on my computer as like a drive or whatever?
It's going to show up in your computer as 2 drives. I'm going to give you 200 gigs for OS. That should be all you need for OS, 200 gigs. And then I'm going to put a D drive or an E drive. It'll show up as either D or E. We'll
Another
see.
thing I realized when I take captures, like when I do like a capture of Warzone,
Yeah.
it saves all of those to my C drive too.
Yeah, you might be able to change that in your settings.
And then it keeps on, and then I keep on having to delete videos. You know what I mean? So if I have that, can I just save videos to that?
Oh, I know where that screw came from.
You know what I mean?
Hold on.
Okay.
Remember that silvery screw that I wasn't sure where it went to?
So.
It's floating around now. We don't need it, but that's kind of annoying that it's not there.
You have Venmo?
I do. Haven't we used it before?
Yeah, I could Venmo you the money then.
Yeah, you can Venmo me later. We don't have to do it right this second.
I'm so excited, man. I'm gonna go home and get good performance now.
Yeah, you're gonna be really happy with this build.
Dude, like last night, I went from like, I don't know, like sometimes I go into my game, my computer's cold, and then it's like around like, you know, like 85 to 90 FPS, and then it drops down to like 50 or 60 after like an hour. So I'm hoping this is gonna help out a lot.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I see what happened. So that screw came out. Oh, I put it over there. I remember now. My memory is very visual, and I saw the blue paint on the screw, and I remembered where it was supposed to go. That motherboard box, can you get it? We need one of those screws. Those little screws I said you never wanted to lose, we need one. So cool. So you're getting a nice fast NVMe SSD upgrade now. No, like I've been using one for a couple of years, or like about a year or two now.
It was on the was in the other one?
No, they're right here. You're looking too fast. They're tiny. You didn't see them because of how small they were. I'm gonna need to find you a small bag in order to keep the other ones safe now that the package is
I have little bags
open.
like these.
Oh yeah.
They're good for snacks.
Yeah.
My portions and shit.
Exactly. No, just small portions of anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I literally just put that screw down
What's
to open this case.
that? Is that it?
No, that's not it. That goes here. And I didn't see where I put it.
The one you just took out of it?
The one I just took out, that screw is so tiny that I can't see. I put it down right here. No, it's not.
That's not it right here?
No, it's not. And I'm 100% sure it's not. Those that all goes together. Just grab me another. Why?
We'll find it after.
Oh, there it is. There it is. These things are so tiny. It just got wrapped in around something tiny and went and hid. You know what? I'm a dummy. I'm struggling with this screw because my screwdriver's not magnetized enough. So I have my trusty iFixit! Explosion noises. Clearly I watched Jay's 2 cents. He has a whole series of ads on iFixit that he made himself in-house. And ever since he made them, they've just been like, yeah, you should keep doing that. They're better than anything they could have ever made themselves. You know?
That's right.
It's like how do you make an ad? You follow all the format for how to make an ad and you make an ad, right? No, you just wing it and make something ridiculous that you think people will watch.
So is that the NVE?
That is an NVMe
Okay.
non-volatile memory express.
Okay. What's that?
It's the name for the technology.
That's the cover?
Oh, this is the cover, yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is that thing I was wondering what the screw went to was. It had come out. I thought they were both captive.
It has motherboards in it.
Yep.
Like 2 times
And
bigger than the other
when you
one.
install these, if you ever install another drive, the main one came with a cover. This one didn't, but you want to check anyway and see. Does this have a pad on it with a cover? Yeah, it's got a loose pad. Whatever. And
What's that?
this is another slot. You have 2 NVMe slots on this motherboard.
That was cool. Like, that's good, right?
Yeah, one of them is, this one is coming directly off your CPU. This one's coming off your chipset. And the latency is a little higher as a result.
Okay.
It'll be indistinguishable to the average user, but if you were actually doing latency sensitive work, you know, it might affect performance a smidge. But generally speaking, for most storage needs, it's indistinguishable. They're basically the same functionally.
I just gotta take off this Intel i7 sticker.
Now you do, and replace it with that Ryzen sticker you got. Or literally even better,
Put it over.
put it over. Just like, no, F you, Intel. Go AMD fanboyism. Yay. But on the real though, don't be a fanboy. Buy what fits your budget and what works best for your needs.
Yeah.
One design flaw in most case and graphics card combo designs, but like also not. There's a hole right through the top of the graphics card there that screws will fall through if you drop your screw. So you'll have to take your card out to get to it. But at least it doesn't get stuck in the thing. Yo, John Chung says, what's up?
Oh, that's my friend.
Yep, he found the screen. You told him it was there. I wish I'd been able to get you on lapel, but also you swear a lot, and I don't have a... Yeah, the mic wasn't working. It's okay. You put it over on the table. I'll troubleshoot that later. Yep. One of these days, I'm going to have Jordan on with me.
There you go.
It's a really nice little setup. It's a single receiver, dual transmitter. The whole setup cost me like less than $400, which is the cost of a single mic from like I think it's less than the cost of a single Sennheiser mic. Their new AVX series mics are a few $100 pop for a single one. And I wanted two. I needed two. Because I had plans to do videos with somebody. Alright.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm gonna unplug your unnecessary SATA for now.
What's that for?
It's the SATA for your SSD.
Oh, so it doesn't wipe it or something?
Yeah, just so I don't pick the wrong drive.
Okay.
It's a habit I got into. After I wiped a drive I wanted data off of, it wasn't essential, I could recover it. But oh boy, was that a BO.
Yeah. How are those things on?
Yeah, I have all 6 of them.
Okay. Yeah, those thumb screws are a lot easier.
Whoa. Oh, I pressed the power button. I was like, why did your computer just turn on? That's a sensitive little power button, but...
Yeah.
Spam delete button. Faster.
That brings up the BIOS.
Yes.
Alright,
There you go. Now we're in BIOS.
the CPU frequency 3.8, is that good?
That's the base clock below boost, so yeah, that's good.
Okay.
The CPU has...
So there's like, looks like there's A, like gain boost, and there's A XMP, and you have like...
I see where everything is. I'm ignoring all of that, trying to find an advanced mode.
Oh yeah, go to advanced mode. That's what it did for the
Oh, I see.
advanced
It's
F7, maybe F7?
Yeah, F7.
Oh, this is kind of a cool BIOS.
This is better. Settings. System status. Looks good. The date is 4/7/21. What's the time?
9:05.
9:05. Your board is on time.
Okay.
You have one M.2 showing. You have 16 gigs of RAM. Alright. Settings. Advanced. Windows OS config, UEFI, GPU, security, none, boot, full screen display, disable. I like being able to see what's going on when a system posts.
That's what?
When a system posts, I like being able to see what's going on. I also turned on a beep, so if your motherboard has a beeper on it, it'll beep when it posts successfully. I don't know if it has a built-in one, but if there was a speaker built into the board, it would beep.
Okay.
I need to get one of those.
So what are we doing now?
I'm doing pre-configuration.
Okay.
Uh-huh. We're gonna... You wanna help me stand this upright?
Yeah.
Just grab it and pull it over there. Awesome. Now I can sit down while I work. My back was getting angry.
Yeah.
This is so much better. I know you guys can't see much on the stream anymore, but we're here. The system is working.
Do we have to still download Windows though?
No, we still have to install Windows yet, but that won't take super long.
Okay. Like hypothetically speaking, if I just went into Warzone like right now, would it work? Or
No.
it wouldn't?
You wouldn't have a graphics driver.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, Windows isn't installed yet either on your new drive.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. We copied it to the USB, remember?
Oh, okay. But everything, the SSD's in there and everything.
Everything's in. I took the SATAs out to do the Windows install, but yeah. Let me focus on this. You asked plenty of questions, but... That's really interesting.
How much longer do you think so I can call my wife really quick?
I would say safely an hour and a half to 2, but I'm hoping to have it done in an hour.
Okay.
It's just a matter of like how much do we want to get installed
Yeah.
here, because you can keep working on it here, you know, once you get into Windows, or you can install stuff yourself that you want to install.
Okay. I'll probably
Yeah.
just get it up done here.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get to a point where you'll be ready to take it home though, before it's all done. Like if you want to install Steam again on the new drive and things like that, you know, getting your browser configured.
Yeah, probably.
Those are things you can do
I
at
already have
home.
the Warzone.
And Warzone's on there, so as long once you get Steam reinstalled and you associate the library and whatnot, then it'll just go right away.
I think
Steam
it's
is great.
Blizzard or something.
Steam is great at that. So I set the boot order. It doesn't want. Oh, OC setting.
To let you know that he said it could take like, he's hoping everything's going to be done in about an hour, but he said safely it could be like an hour and a half or 2 hours or something like that. I know, I was thinking about DoorDashing some food or something like that. What? I know, I had a piece of pizza. Well, I had bread, piece of pizza, and a protein shake. But don't worry, I'll get some food then, okay? Okay. Well, I'm gonna eat tonight because we're gonna go to the gym tomorrow morning. Okay. Okay. I will. Okay. Okay. I love you so much. Alright. I'll call you soon when I'm done. Okay. Alright, cool. We should take a dab really quick. Yeah.
One sec. I turned my mic on, but I'm turning it off.
Yes, you can take a dab.
Where do I do that? Which should I use?
Here's my email.
This?
That's not the greatest wax. Do you want me to put something out for you?
Whatever's better.
Cool. That's the blower, right?
Yeah.
I got it. Whoa, where did I add it? None of this is visible or audible. There's no gain right now, so yeah. I'm gonna take one real quick first. Since we're not really visible on stream anyway.
Wait, so if I tried playing Warzone right now, it wouldn't work or something? Really? Like it wouldn't even load or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have run okay with the old boot drive, like in there, which might have just
Better
run,
now.
but the performance would be subpar for sure.
Yeah.
There you go. This is on app. AK. You know AK-47. Okay. Next. Oh, it has it. What am I doing? Why does it not want to let me type numbers? Okay. Not that. Hi guys, sorry.
We had to have a little off mic conversation. I don't know why it doesn't want to let me type the amount in here on this keyboard right now. I think my batteries might be going out. No, the keyboard's getting battery. Oh man. I really don't want to have to manually enter this by clicking it through Why is it being this way? Oh, I see. We're just gonna do that. That's close enough. Yeah, you get 216 gigs because it's being finicky. It's fine. It's just an odd number. It's gonna look weird. That's all.
What should it be? 200?
I was trying to do 200. Yeah, I got it close.
It's better, right?
Actually, I was able to get that working. Let me just try that one more time. Now that I see how it works, there, I can make a slightly better size. Oh, look, it works now. I don't know what was stopping me before. Yeah, there we go. Fly. Perfect. 195 gigs. Done. 195 gigabytes actual.
Okay. Installing Windows now?
And we're installing Windows.
Okay.
Yep. And Windows installation is fairly easy. You know, it's literally just wait for it to run.
And what do you do after that?
Excuse me. After Windows is installed, we're going to use that other USB thumb drive, the one that's right here. And we're going to pull all of your drivers, except for your graphics driver, off of it.
Okay.
Because I don't have that on there right now. Actually, I'm gonna, it's like, look at me thinking in real time, guys. I think by talking.
I mean, the graphic driver should be easy, right? You just go to GeForce.
Not even. I'm gonna pull one off of my hard drive that's already installed. I have a graphics driver, unless they updated it within the last 2 weeks, I have a current graphics driver.
Is it not? But it's not a graphics card driver. It's a different driver.
No, it's it's the driver for your 2080.
I think one just came out a couple days ago, though, right?
Maybe. I'll find out before I go install it. I have the time right now.
Yeah, one came out a couple days. I want to say like on the 30th or like less than a week ago.
Yeah.
So is my old graphics driver getting deleted too, or what?
Oh, this is a completely fresh install.
Yeah.
Completely fresh install.
You have one too, or?
Yeah, I have a GeForce. I have a 2080 Ti on my computer. So good all around, does everything.
Do you have the newest one, or what?
No, I don't. I haven't bothered updating to the newest things that they have. 330. Yeah, they did have a new one. 465.89. Mine was like 462 something. Yeah. Right. I'm going to copy that to the thumb drive, and then tonight, after you leave, I am also going to update my graphics driver. I like running not the latest drivers when I don't need to, but NVIDIA's been having some really good updates lately. Yeah. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and wash something out here. I have a fresh inhaler and it needs a new case. Have you ever have something that you just really like in particular, and then something changes on it ever so slightly, and it makes it less functional?
Yeah.
They took the cap connection that holds the cap on my inhaler and removed it on the latest iteration of of the casing for the canister. But the canisters still fit in the casings that have caps, and I have a half dozen of them stored away that all had some level of medication still in them. So once I finish those inhalers off, I have spare caps or spare casings as they wear out. And it's the same dosing. They definitely meter the same. You can tell. Albuterol is a drug.
Yeah, my cat just think albuterol.
Yeah, and we're going to connect to our Wi-Fi. I remember what the password was. It's fortunate that your motherboard has Wi-Fi because I did not prepare Ethernet cable for doing updates with. But fortunately our Wi-Fi in here is pretty fast. You know what though, actually, I think I can pull a cable up and get that. I think I have one back here specifically for what we want to do. You know what? It's also going to be like buried way the heck back here. Heck it. I got it. I'm just going to leave it on Wi-Fi. Yeah, well, we're going to assume that you don't have an account, and if it comes up as one, then we'll log you in. For anyone maybe just getting to this part,
Should I try logging into an account that I think I might have?
why don't you try logging into an account you think you have?
How do I go back? What about another password? Try logging in.
Yeah, try logging in. Here, you were in the field. There you go. That touchpad works, but it's a touchpad all the same. Did it work? Create pin.
I'm gonna rotate that slightly away from the monitor so people can't
See details. There you go. Got a pin. Oh. Crap. Let me see pin requirements. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, go ahead. Alright. And then we're going to turn off all the telemetry. I'll let them have diagnostic data. That's the only one I ever leave on. Diagnostic data helps make Windows better. Gaming, entertainment, business, creativity. Yeah, let's do it. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. You can skip this. I never do that. It's like you'll figure out how to make your device work anyway. Only save files to this PC. You don't have OneDrive, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I mean, you can set up OneDrive anytime. You do not need Microsoft Office 365. Let Cortana help? What? No. Go away, Cortana. Yeah, they literally took the chick from Halo and named Microsoft's in-game or in OS thing Cortana. Siri is Amazon. Siri is Amazon. Or is it Alexa's Amazon? That's right. Siri is Apple. I don't use these voice activated. I know people really benefit from it. I know it makes your device easier to use, but I'm personally against having things monitor me that closely. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm not doing anything inherently illegal, most of the time, but I don't know that. There's literally statistics on people that don't know they're committing crimes every day in America because of how laws are written and how many laws are on the books that aren't regularly enforced, that people aren't aware of. Or that they just they are, people are also just dumb. This goes with your RAM. Yeah. And this also was stuff from your cooler box, or it was part of it. But yeah, so, just having my thing monitor me so they can make it a little easier to use. I'll probably set it up eventually. I'm going to cave on that. That's a really nice function. But I'm not going to deny that, it makes me uncomfortable having my whole life monitored that way, we live in a society, and, sometimes governments like to get in the way of that. For whatever reason, it could be that everything you're doing now is illegal, but the government might decide one day that they want it to not be. Oh look, you logged in and it got your desktop.
Oh yeah.
It set your desktop when you logged in. So yeah, your profile is definitely working. We're gonna plug in the. Did I stick that over there? Where did I stick that drive? I literally was looking at it just a moment ago.
What color was it?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the one that I was putting your graphics driver on. It's on the computer still. And that's going to be one of the first things I install. Yep. We're going to pull the old USB thumb drive, because that's no longer needed. That's my currently a Windows install disk.
So if I want to play the game, I have to download I have to re-download Warzone?
No. You got Warzone through Steam, right?
No, it's through Blizzard.
Well, I mean, whatever app. If the app is still installed on your D drive or the old C drive, because you have both, you can run the executable for Battle.net. And well, you might not even need to download it. You can probably just find it on the old drive, run it, and that one will hopefully have your association for all your password and everything, even potentially still. Yeah. First things first, I'm going to install drivers. What's this? Oh. Unpin. Mail, unpin. Microsoft Store. You can repin that later if you really want it. And do I have a Firefox installer on this drive? I probably do. I do. Do you normally use Chrome?
I usually use Internet Explorer or Microsoft.
You're going to use Firefox now. You're a Firefox crew now.
I've had Firefox for a long time.
Yeah, I've been Team Firefox for most of my existence, although I admit I'm slightly biased, considering that my old boss at the DNA Lounge was one of the key developers on the final version of Netscape and the early revisions of Firefox. And so I know some of the developers, not intimately, they wouldn't remember me by name, but I've met them. He's not so much famous as, like I said, he's known for having helped develop Netscape for a long time and develop Firefox early on. Like, he wasn't a Firefox developer, but he helped work on some of the project as it was being made. If that makes, I forget the exact details.
Yeah, but like there was some version that like I watched something on like a documentary or like something on YouTube or something, and it was like they were talking
It's
about
his name is Jamie Zawinski. Yeah, his name is Jamie Zawinski. You can look him up on Wikipedia. He has always he's not a celebrity. No, he was just like in the tech space. He's a little bit of a celebrity, you know. You're gonna want to create a Firefox account at some point. Let's do drivers first, though.
What's the Mozilla for?
That's so that you have an internet browser that's not Microsoft Edge, because Edge is not a bad browser. Firefox is a better browser. I think Firefox is a better browser. It's more secure in what they're having you monitor and do stuff with. Before I go to the driver, I'm going to do a couple of things to make you safer online. I'm going to add Firefox multi-account container. Add. I know you don't use Facebook really, but I'm going to add it anyway should you need to log into your Facebook for anything. And then another thing called temporary containers that I also use. These will all basically keep you more secure online. And then I'm also going to get you, what's it called, uBlock. I know that a lot of people on YouTube make money from ad revenue, but I still have to recommend that those of you that care about your security online selectively choose what sites you want to allow ads on to support people, and use an ad blocker anyway, because there are still malicious ads that can download malware on the internet, even though they're much fewer and far between due to the prevalence of proper security. And another thing called decentralize, which prevents you from being tracked on a lot of sites while you're on the internet. And once you create a Firefox account, every time you reinstall Firefox, it'll do all this for you. It'll automatically pull all that up for you. It's really nice. Yeah, and you can have that on pretty much any modern browser these days. But yeah, that only takes a few minutes to do, as you can see there. And you know, maybe it'll prevent your credit card info from not being stolen someday, or social. You don't know. Like, you don't know what you're not going to be affected by if you use proper security, and that's the way you want it. You don't want to ever have to experience that. Here's a couple of anti-static tags, motherboard and graphics or something. Yeah, make sure that those get put away, because if you ever need to take your parts apart or sell them, those are your bags to do it. Yeah. Do you use GeForce Experience?
Yeah.
All right, we'll install it.
Well, I just use it for downloading drivers and stuff.
I mean, you don't have to do that. I normally manually download drivers, and I use what's called Display Driver Uninstaller.
I also like I like using like the overlays.
Yeah.
And I like to use the filters.
Got it.
So the filters like really help me play Warzone. Without the filters, like I can barely see people.
For sure, yeah. Like I don't even know what all GeForce Experience has in it because I've never experienced it. I don't like that it requires an account and some other things. They've been saying for a long time they were going to make GeForce Experience a system that can be used without an account, and I was going to start using it when they did that. But AMD gets a lot of flack for their software, but honestly, I think their driver software, the interface, is better simply because it doesn't require you to log in to use it the second you install it. And I'm going to download you the latest version of Display Driver Uninstaller. By the time you want to update next, it'll probably be out of date and ask you to update. If something doesn't work when you run it, then you can do that, but you don't have to. I'd frequently use out-of-date copies of DDU on my thumb drives, servicing people's computers. And unless it's like, oh, I'm trying to fresh it up for a brand new graphics card and brand new drivers, you know, because there's a new generation, that's usually the time you want to update the most, is when you have a new generation of GPUs and there's new things to look for. All right. Oh, that's easy. Okay. Now I'm just going to open that and pin it to your taskbar. Whenever you need to uninstall or reinstall graphics drivers, you should use this. And Windows probably installed drivers the first time. We're going to assume everything works for now, but if something breaks, you're going to run that. It'll uninstall everything hard and like clean up stuff that would get left behind.
Why would I want to do that?
Because even when you do a clean install in the driver, there may be things in the registry and elsewhere that it doesn't look for that DDU is programmed to look for additionally, it knows to look for. I sometimes will run it on a clean one because Windows will automatically install graphics drivers. No, you don't need to do that for a long time. I don't think, like, if there's a new feature that comes out, then you're going to want to update. I'll let you know, Or I'll try to remember to let you know. I need to get set up for that, but yeah, this is the SSD out of that right there. I'm going to make sure to put that back in once we're getting taken down after the stream ends. I just want to have it out so I don't forget about it. Yeah, that's yours now. Did you Venmo me yet, or? Okay. 170. I literally just sent 170 to my friend for it because he needed to buy a part to get his CPU. So I told him, buy one of these. I'll either give it to somebody else in another build and resell it immediately for cost, or I will use it as a test drive for stuff. And I eventually am going to buy another. I have a couple of SATA SSDs lying around that are good enough for now. I have a whole bunch of 870 EVOs and an 840 EVO. A couple of 840 EVOs. I have a 120 gig, a 500 gig. Yeah. All right, and we're going to install all your chipset drivers. Yeah, I have Venmo. You should have me on Venmo. I'm pretty sure. Let's get your audio driver. Where's the actual installer? Oh, there it is, buried way down low. Let me blow these up. Why do they have so many files? Oh, I see. That is the setup. Yep. Audio drivers. No, I'll restart later. Bluetooth driver, Intel Bluetooth.
CPU or the RAMs at like 3600 now?
It should be, but I haven't checked it yet.
Can you check that from the past performance? Or like the task
Yes. I was about to go look. Can you actually bring up OBS over there? I just want to see what our screen looks like right now. See at the bottom? At the bottom. See the OBS logo? Black right there, yeah. You just mouse over it. Go back, left, 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 yeah. Cool. All I want to know. That's like seeing what we're showing, you know? We don't have a lot visible on the screen right now, but people are still able to listen in and learn. If I had a better space with more spots for cameras, I would do it. Memory 3600. Your XMP works right out of the box. See, I told you, my board hates me and is a beast of a unit. It's evil.
I think my other one was like 2300 or something like that.
I think your old rig had DDR3, so it would be like 2400 probably. It was either 2133 or 2400. I know that my 8350K used 2400. Yep. I'm just doing drivers right now. I'm installing all your drivers one by one. Your Wi-Fi driver is already working, but I'm going to install this anyway.
I don't really use Wi-Fi that much.
Oh, alright, then we're going to skip that for now because it's functioning.
Is this all on SSD? Or is it on thumb drive?
I'm running this all off of a thumb drive that performs like an SSD. Or like a slower SSD, but nonetheless, it is a flash memory based storage device rated for up to like 300 megabytes a second or something. It's a really fast drive. It typically gets about 150 to 200. You know, you're not always gonna get the rated speed. There's things that can prevent that from happening, like just the type of read-write you're doing. And you're not doing RAID, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. But I am going to run this chipset software installer. RAID is when you combine multiple drives together in arrays together of various types. And that's all the explanation you're getting today, since we're not using it. I want you to remember what I tell you and not give you too much extra info. AMD PCI driver, yeah, I want all that. Gimme.
This is all for the most current, like 5800 or whatever.
Yeah, this is all. It's all for the motherboard, is what it is. But yeah, it'll have stuff that helps talk to the 5800X better. You just want to have your chipset drivers all up to date when you install the system. I have no idea what Windows has in its archive of drivers. And like a Wi-Fi driver, you know, check your performance, make sure it works, not a big deal. We're working on Wi-Fi right now, and it was nice to have for a moment there, because it let me install Firefox attachments, add-ons. It's not, I didn't bother. That's HDMI. Yeah. Alright, now we're going to restart. At this point, I would plug your other hard drive, and your other SSD back in. They're in there, but I took the cables out when I installed Windows, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Just to make sure it didn't... I've had experiences before where if I have Windows installed on one SSD, and then I install it on another while the other one's in there, it will put the bootloader on this drive and the OS on this drive separately. And then I'll go and be like, oh, this drive needs to go, or this drive died, and I can't boot this drive without reinstalling Windows.
So you install it, you plug it in right now, or?
Yeah. I mean...
Or should we turn it off?
I'm turning it off first. You could, in theory, just put them in. SATA is hot pluggable. I have done it before. I have used a hot swap bay to do it. but nonetheless, I did it.
Yeah.
And it worked. You know, it popped up in Windows and everything. I had to activate the drive in Device Manager or in Disk Management specifically,
Yeah.
which is what I opened up before when I was looking at hard drive problems. But yeah, it worked right out of the box. Oh, there it is. I can see better from here. I was like, why isn't this SATA going in? It's because I'm trying to plug it in between two ports. I'm a dummy. All right. That is some of the better cable management you're going to get out of this.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. This wants to stick up at weird angles, but if you put enough of a kink in it, in the cable, it'll hold in place. And yeah, that looks nice. Look at that.
That's
I'm gonna unplug all these drives so I don't break something.
nice. Everything's all plugged in. Everything's already installed and everything.
That is a nice clean build with all the wires how you want them, guys. This is how it should be. You know, and you turn it on and it's got underglow here and glow up here. And it looks good. There's no RGB on the RAM, but there's enough light that it makes the rig light up. It'll look nice. I think you'll really enjoy this PC.
Oh yeah, well, thanks.
And we're going to call it there on the stream.
That's it.
We got some wrap up to do, you and me, but that's it for the stream. See you later.